What's up, everyone? Matt Morris. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to be talking about the obstacle being the path, converting the obstacle into the path. We're going to be talking about turning pain into pleasure. We're going to be talking about turning failure into the goal, my friends. So listen, as you hop on, let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from. Let me know if you're watching this live or if you're watching this on the replay. And listen, if you decide to share this, make sure in the comments below, put the word shared so I can give you a shout out. I usually go back and reread all the comments. Really cool yesterday, going through it and reading all the comments. So always love the feedback. And listen, if you are seeing me for the first time on a live broadcast, just drop me a 1 in the comments. And we will kick it off here. So let me see if we are, yep, we're live. All right, my friends. So let's talk about the obstacle. You know, most of you guys are, if you're following me, you're part of the network marketing community and profession. And, I think in any major entrepreneurial endeavor, there's going to be a lot of obstacles. Anytime you're doing something big in life, there's going to be obstacles that get in the way. And I will tell you one of the biggest reasons why I failed for so long. For 5 years, I struggled. I spent more money than I made every single month for 5 years. It was a long process. Emmanuel, thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you hopping on. So, it took me a long time to get that the obstacle is actually the path. And here's what I've really come to realize. And, for me, I always want to make things simple. And what I've come to realize more than anything else is that there are only 2 words stopping you from achieving greatness, just 2 words. And 2 letters, not 2 words, 2 letters stopping you from achieving greatness. Some of you know what those are. It is the word no. N-O are the 2 biggest words that stop you. Ghana in the house. Good to see you on. Ohio in the house. Awesome. So what I tried to do for a long time is I tried to avoid the rejection. And I would only show my business to people that I thought had a really good chance of saying yes. And if I thought they would probably say no, I wouldn't even show them because I didn't want to have the pain of rejection. I didn't want what I perceived to be as failure. Okay. So I would avoid the word no. And here's, more and more what I've come to realize is the obstacle, the word no, that's the path. So rather than, trying to avoid the obstacle that's in front of you, you need to make a dash, make a run for the obstacle, because the only way, listen to me, the only way you're going to get a lot of yeses is if you get a lot of no's. The best in the world, the very best in the world, are going to get rejected more times than they get a yes. They're going to hear the word no more than yes. If you're the best in the world, you probably close 1 out of every 3. That means you get 2 no's for every 1 yes. Now, for a lot of other people, it's a different ratio. You might get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 no's for every yes. I don't know what the number is, but you're always going to get more no's than yeses. So if you think about my logic of trying to avoid no's and get only yeses, you realize the idiocy there. You realize how foolish I was. Now, granted, I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, right? I finished in the half of the class that made the top half possible. So sometimes it takes me a little while to figure things out. When I finally figured it out, I realized that I should actually be excited about the no, because that's the only way. Now, I've talked about the word or the book, Go for No, a ton of times. It's an amazing book. You should read it. Basically just talks about how, whoever gets rejected the most is typically the one that makes the most money. And so in life, if you want success, you got to figure out how can you turn pain into pleasure. And if I look at, being fit as an example, I went to the gym yesterday. They finally opened up the gyms in Dallas. And so we go there and there's a big sign on the wall or on the door that says, do not enter the gym without face masks and gloves. And of course, I don't have any face masks or gloves, because I'm not living in fear. But they're selling them. So we get the face mask, we get the latex gloves, me and my girlfriend, Devin. So we go in, start doing cardio. And man, I got to tell you, it is a little bit harder to breathe wearing those for sure. After about 20, 30 minutes on the elliptical, my hands are sweating. And, in the beginning, I can, it's like doing my heart rate. it reads my heart rate, and I guess it gets so wet inside it couldn't read my heart rate. So I'm just going to go, right? Anyway, finish the workout, do chest and abs, ton of cardio, come out, my hands are prunes from all the sweat, and it felt good. Now, I posted a picture on my social media. Now, here's what I find fascinating is the fact that I was wearing a mask. Now, I didn't want to wear a mask. I had to wear the mask, but it triggered the hell out of a bunch of people. And people are like, you lost me as a fan. I can't believe you're wearing a mask and all this. And I'm like, well, it was required to go in. Well, you're obeying. The logic that people use to criticize sometimes is pretty amazing. And it was like, you're obeying, basically cowering down. And it's like, you know what? We have to wear clothes. Like if you walk around naked, you're going to get arrested. And so the fact that you walk around with clothes on, does that mean that you're obeying and you're submitting to the authority, to Big Brother, whatever, right? The fact that, you have to obey the traffic laws. You have to stop when there's a red light. Now, listen, I don't like some of the rules as much as anyone else, but I wanted to work out, so I went there. So there were some comments. I actually had to ban someone. So I thought, if you're on my email list, I'll joke about trolls quite a bit. Trolls are the people who want to hop on and give you unsolicited advice. They want to call you names. And listen, I've been called every name in the book on social media. That's part of the game. And a lot of people look at the trolls on social media as pain. They look at that as an obstacle. They look at that as failure. If someone's saying something negative about you, it hurts you and you want to cower down. Here's the way I look at it. If I'm not getting a bunch of trolls, if I'm not getting a bunch of people insulting me on social media, I'm not trying hard enough, right? So if I go a long period of time and I don't have someone calling me names, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I need to do more live videos. I need to get out there more because they're out there. Now, here's the thing about being an influencer. For those of you who have a desire to be an influencer, a speaker, a thought leader, there's no way around that obstacle, okay? In fact, the trolls are the path. The path for me to be a great influencer has been going through and having a bunch of trolls criticize me. So it's not the obstacle, it's the path. For me to get in great shape. Now, I had dinner with a couple teammates last night, and we're at Three Forks by my house here in Dallas, having an amazing steak. Having a good time. Some of you are gonna hate me for going out and eating at restaurants because people find any reason to hate, right? So we're eating, and one of the guys asked me, hey, what was it that got you to make the decision to really get fit? And it came from pain. The reason why I decided to get fit is because I was out at the pool with my kids and I saw a picture of myself and I'm like, there's no way that's me. Because I look in the mirror and I think I look really good. And at the time, anyway, I thought I looked good because I'd suck it up and flex. And, I know I'm no supermodel, right? Never will be, but I thought I looked pretty good. And so it's kind of like that. You ever see the meme online where it's a cat looking into the mirror and the cat is seeing a lion, right? Some people, it's the opposite. You're a lion and you're looking in the mirror and you see a cat. Well, I was seeing the lion as a cat. And I'm like, I got to take more pictures. So I took pictures. I'm like from the side, from behind. And then I look at the picture and I'm like, holy crap, that really is me. I'm like 20 pounds overweight. And I've never been overweight my entire life. I've always been pretty skinny, right? So that's what caused me to make the decision to go all in 90 days later because I made a massive commitment. I had six-pack abs. So it was the pain that actually led me to the pleasure of being fit and being able to stay fit now for years and years and years. So what I had to realize is I had some pretty negative programming. I had programmed myself, or I had allowed external factors to program me that I hated cardio. So love to lift weights, hate cardio, hate doing it. And that was my programming, internal programming all the time about how much I hated cardio. And so that was my obstacle. Well, I had to turn that pain into pleasure. So how do you turn pain into pleasure? Well, it's a conscious decision and it's a matter of changing your programming. So I started saying to myself that I love cardio. I'm addicted to cardio. And those of you who, follow me, I'm typically, before the lockdown and all that, I'm typically in the gym like 5 days a week. It's a habit of mine that I program myself to be addicted to. I didn't used to like it that much, but I turned my pain into pleasure. And I reprogrammed myself to where I love cardio. And so that was actually my path. My obstacle was that I hated cardio. And well, if I want what I really want, I got to turn that obstacle into the path. Okay. So think about this in your career. Now, if you look at, and here's the other thing, turn the failure into a goal. So what most people see as failure is someone rejecting them. Well, if you know there's no way to get more yeses than nos, everyone's going to get rejected more than they're going to get a yes, then make the failure a goal. Instead of making it a goal to sponsor 3 people this week, make it a goal of getting rejected 25 times this week. And it changes the thing, it changes in your mind, because now all of a sudden it's like, man, my goal is to get 2 no's a day. And I've done this enough. I've had some people tell me I'm crazy, like, Matt, you shouldn't teach people to go for no. All they're going to get is no's. And what I find, the opposite is actually true, because when you make it a goal of going for no, and that's the goal, not the failure, you end up getting more yeses, because you're able to present without the neediness that most networkers have. Part of the reason why a lot of networkers struggle to recruit, struggle to close sales, is because a prospect can sense your neediness like a dog smells fear. When you get rid of the fear and you make the no a goal, then you get rid of that neediness. You're not bringing that needy energy into the sales process. You end up closing more. And so if your goal is 2 no's a day, if you get 3 yeses in a day, you still need to go get 2 more no's. It's a powerful way of looking at things, turning the failure, the perceived failure, into the goal. So my friends, take that. And, if you are a leader, I think it's an important message that you need to be teaching, not just accepting it as your own, but also teaching it. Now, if I look at over the last 10, 11 years, how much money I've made for every no. Now, I could look up and say, all right, well, I've made this much money for every yes. It's a huge number. But how much have I made for every no? I did this a few years ago. I need to redo it. But I had made over $10,000 for every single no. And it grows every year because we earn residual income. So I'm not saying you're going to make $10,000 for every no. I'm not going to say you're going to make $100 for every no. But typically that's how things work out, is you're actually getting paid for the no's if you're willing to go get enough no's. And so if you can think of it like this, every time you get a no, think cha-ching in your mind. The way to get paid is to get a lot of no's. So go get a lot of no's and you end up making a lot more money. If you look at the top leaders in our profession, the leaders who have made the most money in most cases are also the leaders who have gotten the most no's. So my friends, turn the obstacle into the path, turn the pain into pleasure, and turn the perceived failure into a goal. Teach that to your team and watch your business grow. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Listen, if you get some value out of this, hit the share button. If you do share it, let me know in the comments. Just put the word shared so I can give you a shout out. Aaron Rashkin, good to see you on, my brother. Pam, good to see you on. Awesome. So listen, if you're not subscribed to my newsletter, hop over to mattmorris.com, put your name and email address in there, and you'll get my near daily tips on building a business and a lot of insights that I don't talk about here. So love you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. God bless.